From dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Kris.
Welcome to the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey Podcast, episode 341 in Studio M, sponsored by Ruby Tracks. Kris, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Actually, I'm doing better than I was a few days ago.
Right? You came back from KOH not with hammer lung, but with hammer flu or something. I've heard of a few people that have been suffering.
Excuse me. I read on the interwebs and Instagram and Facebook that a bunch of people came down with the flu, and that's a nice gift to bring home to my family and friends and coworkers. but I know it was miserable, man. For a while there, I thought I had COVID or some shit, but I tested twice negative, and but it was weird because I was having heat, roasting in bed, just like throwing blankets off. And I had muscle cramps again, like I did when I had COVID a few years ago, and I was starting to freak out. So, but I'm starting to feel. I went to work all day today. I'm feeling better. So, it was a woohoo damn it thing. King of the Hammers was an awesome event this year, very well put on, and some incredible racing and some incredible stories came out of it. But the damn it part was coming home sick again.
Those are the symptoms of menopause too. You sure you didn't have menopause?
Oh, yeah, maybe. A manopause.
All right. Well, glad you're feeling better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got a couple special guests here live in Studio M. Traveled all the way from Beckworth? Is that where you guys technically live? Portola.
I'm Beckworth. He's Reno.
Oh, you're Reno. You live in Reno. Okay. So we've got Justin and Kris Wicks of the other part of Wicks Family Racing. How you doing, guys? Welcome.
Doing good. Thank you guys for having us back on again.
Hell yeah. I am anxious to hear your story because the live feed, I saw you a few times, but then I saw your car afterwards, and it looked like it had some stories to tell. But we didn't get a whole lot information on the live feed of what exactly was going on the race course. So I can't wait to hear your guys' story. And your dad's here, Kris, and I thought you were retired from co-driving. What made you jump in the car this year?
I enjoy riding with my son. I'm competitive. I want to be out there. I also think he still has a lot to learn.
Okay.
And a lot that I want to teach him. And maybe I just have trust issues of handing that over to somebody else.
There you go. Okay. That's fair.
We've put a couple guys in the car for non-regional races, and nothing, for the non-KOH races, but nothing bad has happened, but it's a little superstition. I think he does better with me. I don't know if or his uncle also does a good job with him, Eric.
Yeah.
But I think he just tends to listen to us a little more than he would someone else in there. At least we haven't found that person yet.
Copy that.
And I'm not I wouldn't say I'm the best co-driver. I'm almost 50 years old and probably 60 pounds overweight, but I just, I cherish the time that I have right now, and I'm going to take advantage of every minute that I can spend with them.
Totally get that. And that's what I figured was like, get some father-son time in the car. So that's pretty freaking cool. In some crazy conditions. So, holy smokes. All right. Where are we going to start, Justin?
Well, piggybacking off what my dad said, I really couldn't imagine anyone else better being in the car with me. It's really fun having my dad in there, and it just really makes for the whole experience. It's really just an adventure out there, and there's no one else I'd rather do it with.
Right on. That's great. That's
and just to so everybody knows, I don't want to say he's only, but Justin's just 23 years old.
Yeah.
And you guys have, I think you've been talking to him for quite a while now, and
sure.
He's been in this sport since he was 17.
Yep.
Co-driving for Eric, and then co-driving for me, and then we switched over to him. So, he's still really young. There are guys out there that are younger, but compared to the guys that he's racing against, he's half their age, I think.
Right.
So he still has a lot to learn. And that's kind of where we're, Eric and I try to bring that to him and show him and kind of lead him along the way.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what a great opportunity to get to even race Ultra 4, but have your dad alongside and your uncle and all that. So that's cool. That's why it's called Wicks Family Racing, Kris.
It's the whole family.
It's the family. It's a family affair.
Yep.
Well, it's an interesting contrast too to see the father and the son, the different age brackets there, and how their body reacts to the abuse the car and the racing scenario puts them through. So, 23-year-old body can definitely withstand race forces better than almost 50-year-old body, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty backwards. There was times in the race where even Justin said, "Hey, do you want me to get out and you drive?" And I was like, "No, you stay there. I'm fine." And it's pretty backwards, but whatever. It was fun.
Right on. All right. Well, let's get into it. What about KOH prep? That seemed to go pretty smooth for you this year.
Yeah, this year was probably one of the easiest preps we've had. We did a lot to the car. I mean, we put a fresh Maruzi motor back in it for this year. We got a fresh Maximum transmission, and then just went through completely. We replaced every single bolt, nut, every heim on the car, and besides the chassis, the car was pretty much new this year.
Wow, that's great. And then what about shock tuning testing? Did you have to do any of that, or was it pretty well dialed from past?
So from last year and this year, the car used to be extremely dialed to the point where I could just put my foot to the floor in the desert and it would skip across anything that was in front of it. And a couple of years back, we threw a larger fuel cell in. And ever since then, we've really been struggling to get it dialed back in. But this year, we spent a day with AccuTune, and they got it a lot closer. Still can get a lot more out of it. But we're a lot happier with it this year. And next year, we'll just keep pushing to get it faster in the desert.
Okay, right on. Okay, so then when did you get down to the lake bed?
We got down the Monday the week before KOH started, so I guess that was probably the 26th or 20
January. Okay, so you had some time on the desert to see the trails, and so what's it like for you? I mean, you've done this race before. You're already familiar with Johnson Valley. It's not like a foreign, area to you. But what's on your mind when you're going out there? I mean, like, jackhammer, sledgehammer. I mean, what are you looking for when you go pre-running?
I mean, to be honest with you, every time we get down there and get set up, all that's going through my mind is, oh man, I wonder if I forgot how to drive. And so getting out on the trail bomber is always the first thing I want to do, and just make sure I can still wheel the hammer trails.
Okay, so get some seat time and just get comfortable again. So you didn't race any regional races this year, huh? In this last year,
we did one race. It was Avora race, the Hawthorne race, which we did. We went out there and we qualified first for that race, but we only completed one lap of it. We were having a bunch of transmission cooling issues and decided to pull off.
Okay,
and that was all we did.
Justin's being kind of humble, I guess, but in qualifying, he got P1, and I won't say names, but there was a couple professional drivers, UTVs in there, and he beat them. And it was pretty, to me, it was a really proud moment, when we started first off the line in the race, and this guy comes up to us and he's like, "You guys were number one? How fast were you going?" And we told him our speed, and his jaw just kind of dropped, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And we did one lap. I think it was a total, maybe, I don't know, close to a 400-mile race. So one lap was about 180 miles maybe. And we did one lap. We dropped 3 positions. We came in. Our transmission was running hot. And Justin he decided, I'm not here to just finish this race. I want to win. And we can't win on a, questionable cooling issue on the transmission. So we called it right there. But but still, even to do one lap and only drop 4 positions to side by sides in a solid axle bomber in a desert race was still pretty impressive. So we kind of packed it up and went home. And then we had other races planned, but we wanted to figure out the transmission issue, why we were getting hot, why, we were losing overdrive. So we wanted to figure that stuff out. So right away we started tearing apart the car and going through the cooling and the issues. And we still don't have it figured out, but everything works now. So, maybe it is figured out.
And going into that race, it was kind of funny. So the previous race I co-drove for the previous Vora race, I co-drove for Randy.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Urington,
and we during that, those during the same year.
Yeah, and we won that race. And so going into the Hawthorne race, Randy sent me a text and just said, "Make sure you make it 2 in a row." So going into it, I was already like, "Oh, great,
no pressure."
Yeah, no pressure. And so we did our qualifying run, and the whole lap, I think it was probably like a 4-mile lap. I pretty much had my foot to the floor, and wasn't even just watching temps. I think my dad looked down at one point and we were going 106 to 110.
It was fun. It was pretty badass.
And then in tech later that day, BJ Butcher came up to me and was like, "Dude, nice job. That's 2 bombers in a row." And I was just kind of like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Dude, you qualified first by like 5 seconds."
No kidding. Wow. That's cool. Right on.
So after that, yeah, we just, we kind of made the decision, like, we need to get ready for hammers now. Like, let's start tearing this apart and figuring out these transmission issues, which, like I said, we never figured out, but we just started going through everything and, getting dialed in for, hammers.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, to put that into perspective, like at the Hawthorne race, our transmission was running. I mean, we were struggling to go 70 miles an hour and keeping the trans below 200 degrees, or actually it was closer to 220, 230.
Oh boy.
Trying to go 70 miles an hour. And after we just went through and swapped the coolers, swapped all the fans. And this year at Hammers, I don't think we ever saw 180.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Just, coolers, just, they wear out, they get plugged up, fans go bad, fans slow down, it was just, yeah. So we got it cool and never saw it worked great during hammers.
Okay. All right, cool. That's awesome. So you're at hammers, you're pre-running, you got the Trail Bomber there.
And those are like, the Trail Bombers are great cars. We have one, Eric has one. And I listened to your podcast already with Eric, and he kind of already touched on it. And we got our buddy Greg, who's always with us. And Greg's been involved with our race program he's been involved in ever since Justin could, I think our first trip to KOH was 2009 as just spectators. And Justin wouldn't even ride with me.
Really?
He would ride with Greg, but he wouldn't ride with me. I don't know. I think he just, lack of trust or something. He trusted Greg more than me. But so Greg's always been around. He's always been involved. It's almost cheating, in those Trail Bombers. We pre-run all the trails and it's like, wow, this is easy. And so we knocked out I think we did lap 2 in a day with all of us, probably in just a couple hours.
Yeah, we left out the far trails like Aftershock and check me in, check me out, stuff like that, and went back later. And we were going to do them in the race car, but once we got there, we decided not to.
Yeah, it was a good time. Pre-running was fun. It was just the 3 of us just blasting through the trails. But again, even in the race car, Justin a few times mentioned like, man, we should race the Trail Bomber. It just seems so much smoother.
Yeah, I think part of that has to do with 5 PSI and 42s.
Right. Yeah, and you don't have quite the horsepower that you have in the Trail Bomber as the car, the race car.
Some of those lines they had us doing on lap 3, I don't think we could have made it in the Trail Bomber without tons of horsepower.
Really?
Right.
Wow. Yeah, it looked pretty gnarly, and I know the TV doesn't do it justice and cameras and stuff, but it looked pretty bad, even on the live feeds.
Yeah,
so.
doing it at night and you're 50 years old.
After being in the car for 13 hours or whatever.
Jesus, yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, so let's dive into qualifying. What was that like? What was your mindset going into qualifying? And
so going into qualifying, I mean, in our pits, everyone knows at this point now about Eric's fancy new spaceship.
Yeah.
And so everyone was always in the pits just kind of drooling over it. And so I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder all the way through the entire trip down there. Just wanted to prove that our car still has a little bit left in it. And
Sure.
it's not to be looked down upon. So, I mean, going into qualifying, I wanted to beat him really, really bad. Unfortunately, we couldn't. He got us by 2 seconds, but I know he could be a lot faster as well. And also I can be too.
Sure.
And another thing to put in perspective, like, yeah, the car we're racing is the car that Randy won King of the Hammers in 2013. So I think we might be driving the oldest chassis out there.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, we obviously maintain it, and we've, a lot of upkeep, and we've upgraded parts on it and everything, but the chassis is, Randy built it in 2012. Same link setup. I mean, I think you still have the original links and trailing arms, same sway bars. The only thing we've changed is, obviously engine, shocks, and then upgraded the transmission. So to compete with those cars, the spaceships, it's pretty satisfying.
Absolutely.
It says a lot about the Bombers.
It really
for sure.
does. And
I could tell Justin had a chip on his shoulder. He was focused, like he was sitting there, and we were talking about, like, do you want a co-driver for qualifying? And right away he was like, I don't think I do. And if he doesn't want a co-driver, I kind of realized, like, he's got kill mode on right now.
right.
And he did. And I think he qualified 34th. Is that right?
We were 33rd after they threw in those three desert qualifiers.
Because Eric was in that fifth spot for the longest time, and then all of a sudden they populated it with those three,
Which,
drivers.
you know what, like, those three drivers were Cameron Steele,
Yep.
Paul Horschel, and Brian Reed. They're all driving, phenomenal cars. And who's to say they wouldn't have been qualified up in those spots regardless of their, the Desert Challenge or whatever they call it. So that's kind of what I tell Justin, like, don't worry about that. Those guys are going to be up there anyways, and it doesn't matter. Like, qualifying is, as long as you're kind of mid-pack in there, you set yourself up and you're good. I mean, look at what Aaron did. Aaron was
all the way
almost
last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where he ended up. So it really doesn't, we all, everybody wants to qualify good because you all look at the list at the end of the day, you look at the list and where you're at, and you don't want to be at the bottom, but it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good qualifying run. To see him within, 2 seconds of Eric in the new car was, it was good enough. And then also to see the solid axle cars where the only guys ahead of him were, Randy, Bailey Cole, Casey Gilbert, Josh Byler, and Tad Dowker. I mean, those are names that, like, you put yourself amongst those names and it's like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with that?
Sure.
So we were happy with it.
Okay. Cool. So then race day, good weather. Obviously, dust was of concern because it was a dusty-ass KOH. But how was the start of the race and getting going?
The start of the race, it was extremely dusty. Like, the entire first lap, we could not see a thing. It made it super challenging. And right there, I was kind of like, oh man, this is going to be a long day.
Yeah.
I really just wanted to get to the rock trails and out of that first lap. But yeah, I mean, in the desert, we definitely weren't going the pace I wanted to be going. We only got passed by 3 guys.
I think
the whole first lap.
Yeah, between the first and second, or maybe that was just the first lap.
Yeah, just the first lap, we got passed by 3 guys. Second lap in the desert, it's kind of weird. We didn't see a single dust trail.
Really?
The second lap, it felt like we were out there all by ourselves.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, visibility was nice.
So, did you know your position on course at that time?
We had no idea.
Nobody knew. We didn't even know what was going on.
We kind of, this year we improved our communications. Like, you were on Vegas to Reno with us, and we use Zello, and it's great.
Yeah.
You have communication 100% during the race if you have a Starlink. But Justin told our pit he didn't want to know. He just wanted to run his race.
Okay.
He didn't want to know where we were at. So, we didn't hear anything. We were just driving.
Okay.
Like Justin said, only 3 guys passed us. One of them was, you guys have him on here occasionally, Cole.
Yeah.
Johnson. Yeah. He blew by us. We attribute it to dust. We were in a dust cloud and we just saw him go flying by. And then the other one was a Razor, which is, expected. And another one later on was, he was Watley. He passed us way out and we started right next to him. So he didn't, it took him, 50 miles to catch us and pass us.
Wow.
Which to me, it's like, here we are in this, whatever it is, 13-year-old race car. And they're just now catching us.
Wow.
So it was kind of, it was nice to see that. At the time, Justin and I were complaining the whole time, like, God, this sucks, man. We were getting beat up. It was so rough in that car in the desert. Just, it hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt bad.
Yeah.
And we were even contemplating, like, why are we still driving this Bomber in this race? I mean, it all changed later.
Sure.
Later, lap 3, it was like, we were like, thank God we were in
your questions were answered in the rocks.
Yeah. Even lap 2, the Bomber was so nice to be in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's in my mind what the race should be. It should be more rocks and desert because it's not a desert race. It's a rock race in my mind. But yeah, it depends on what they're thinking that year, I guess. Okay, so first 2 laps were the car was running good, uneventful, nothing crazy going on.
So going into lap 2, I mean, we had no idea where we were at position wise, and we were just running our own race. One thing I got to do a lot better on, or one thing that I still haven't really figured out yet, is how much our car can take. I know I'm super easy on the car when it comes to the rock trails, mainly because I wheel a leaf sprung Toyota
pickup
all summer long. And so with that, I got to be pretty careful. But once we got to Sledgehammer, it was a real, I almost felt a little bit starstruck in a way. We pulled into Sledge on lap 2 and the guys in front of us were Lauren Healy, Paul Wolf, Dan Fresh, Josh Blyler, Bailey Cole. And so that was really cool. And Waylon Campbell. And a lot of these guys are guys I've really looked up to for a lot of my life. I mean, this has always been my dream growing up. So seeing that we're with these guys was really, really cool. And so right there, I knew we were in a good spot and a spot where we wanted to be going into the rest of lap 2 and lap 3.
I think at that point too, we radioed to pit because it was a pretty large backup in Sledge going down Sledge, which is also surprising. It's like, we're going down Sledge. What the F is the problem here? But people have issues, whatever. So we radioed to our pit. And at that time we heard radio talk between Eric and the pit. And we're like, what the F? Eric's already at Maine? Did he already finish lap 2? And then so we just start having a conversation with Eric. We're like, what are you doing? And, he told us briefly what had happened, but we didn't get it all. So basically we figured out that like he had problems on lap 1, but we were still like, we never passed him. Where'd we pass him at?
Right.
And then we kind of like, my heart sunk a little bit because I know Eric really was,
sure.
He wanted to push hard. He wanted to be up there. And then we realized, oh man, he's just now getting to Maine. But anyways, we moved on. We went through Sledge, got through there, no problem. Then we go up Jack and same thing. We pull into Jack and you see all these guys. It's like, wow, we're right in here with these guys. And then here comes Randy right up the side of Justin. And I'll let Justin take it, but he had the opportunity to, he kind of saw Randy out of the corner of his eye and, hesitated.
Saw that video. Yeah.
Yeah. We had the opportunity to take the main line on Jack and get in front of Randy. But to be honest, every time I have the opportunity to follow Randy up any obstacle, I take it over anything.
Sure.
It's always awesome watching Randy and be able to learn from his lines and his driving style.
Yeah.
And also at that time, I think Bailey Cole was winching on one line. Waylon was winching on another line. And so we were kind of waiting to see which one would open up first before we decided. And then here comes Randy just, on the throttle. Yeah, right up. And I'm like, follow him. Do what he does.
Yeah. Respect, man. That's respect.
Yeah. And then I think at that point was the first time I got out and I had to jump out. And it was more not for Justin. I had to help Waylon. I pulled his winch cable out for him. And then, it was from there. It was just, I think Justin went up jack with no issues at all. But from a dad standpoint, it was cool. I was standing in jackhammer and there was a lot of people there watching. And you see him hit these lines and go up with no problems. You start hearing the crowd yelling his name.
Yeah.
Like, go Justin. It was really cool to hear. I got back in the car. I'm like, dude, these people know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, they do.
Yeah. It was fun.
Right on.
It was a good time.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. And after that, I think it was, after Jack, I don't think there was a whole lot of, the rest of the rock trails was kind of uneventful. We did some winching just out of precaution, to be safe, like on Check Me Out.
And there was a couple spots too where I made some pretty dumb moves and had to make my dad get out of the car.
And what he doesn't realize is it's almost like I compare it to a fight, like a boxing, a match or an MMA fight, every punch counts. And every time I get out of the, I think I've heard Kris say this before. So, you only have so many in and outs.
So many ins and outs.
So many ins and outs. And right away I'm like, dude, you're
true.
freaking... Yeah, my ins and outs are already starting. You got to take advantage of these ins and outs.
Right.
So it was like, I had to get out a couple of times just because we'd be bullshitting and going up a trail, and all of a sudden I was like, Justin, we're high centered. What'd you do? Because we just weren't paying attention. So I constantly reminding him, like, all right, focus, watch your line now.
Okay.
But I think it's just learning and going with it.
Sure.
But it was still fun.
Sure.
Yeah, the funny part about that, I guess not that funny, but it was probably the easiest trails of the entire race where we had to pull cable on lap 2.
Really?
Because I think I got too complacent in those trails and thought, oh, this is this trail. It's a cakewalk. And next thing I know, I was high centered in the dumbest spots possible.
Yeah. Damn it.
Yep. Ins and outs.
Yeah. Ins and outs. Okay. So and then what kind of prep work for lap 3? You got the file at noonish or whatever on Friday. What was going through your mind when you saw lap 3?
So there was I didn't do much after we got the file for lap 3. The day before, I believe it was Thursday, there was a lot of rumors going around that we were going to be going down dead blow and up child's play or ball peen. And so right away, once I heard those rumors, I wanted to go check it out. So I rode my bike over there on Thursday. And I was walking it, and just so happened that Jason Shear and Jason Berger were also there watching it. And these are two other guys I kind of see them as superstars. Sure. Growing up watching KOH. And so I just asked them, I was like, hey guys, like, do you mind if I walk with you? And they were just like, oh yeah, man, like, you're part of the team. Let's go.
Yeah. Cool.
So it was super
team.
The NorCal.
Yeah. The
team,
NorCal
exactly.
team. It was super awesome. And so it was pretty surreal, like walking ball peen and sharing ideas with Jason Shear and picking out lines and talking about what we're going to do. But it definitely helped out a lot. I knew exactly what we were going to do going into ball peen, and it made a big difference for sure on lap 3.
Okay.
I got a little, I tell this story a lot, or maybe not so much anymore, but when Justin was probably, 7, 8 years old, I had the conversation with him once, like, who would you rather eat lunch with if you could spend the day eating lunch with, LeBron James or Jason Shear? And I don't know if he remembers, but his response was like, who's LeBron James? Yeah. So that's kind of where, and you go into his room when he was little, and he's got their posters all over the wall. And so I think it was pretty,
that's cool.
When he says it's surreal, it is, like he's always been a fan of these guys.
Yeah. And there's, and Shear's.
And they're human, humble. To see them. Yeah, very, to say, hey, walk it with us. And then Justin comes back and he's like, they were asking me what I think,
right.
where would we go, and it was kind of cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
So, Okay.
So he walked that trail. He came back to camp, and there is, back to like Eric's in camp too, and there's competitiveness. And Eric was even calling it. He's like, I know Justin's going to come back to camp and try to get in my head. Because Eric didn't go walk ball peeing.
No, of course not.
And Justin, the whole time, Justin's doing the same thing. He's like, I'm going to go walk ball peeing, and I'm going to have that edge on Eric, so it's fun. Like there's definitely some, the competitiveness is there. Yeah. It's cool.
The first thing I said when I got back to camp was, you're in for it, Eric. You're going to have fun in there.
Shit. Okay. So with that same theme of the competitiveness of the family there, what about qualifying when he qualified in front of you? Was there any, was he throwing any digs at you or anything, or?
No, not at all. He was pretty impressed that we were only 2 seconds behind him.
Okay. Right on. Okay. So, you're getting ready for lap 3 then, and the car's running fine. No issues. Did you have to change the tire at this point or anything?
No, the entire 14 hours of the race, we never had to change a tire or even touch the car. The car was perfect all day long.
Not one tire.
Nope, not one tire. It was pretty amazing. Those Maxxis tires, they're awesome.
There because there was, you saw what happened to your uncle. His tire left the chat, and the rim damn near left the chat. He rode like 30 miles or something on that wheel, unfortunately.
I think he was seeing red.
Yeah, he was.
He had a new car. He's seeing red. And I told him, I said, dude, I actually was texting him today. I'm like, I think that was a trap.
Yeah.
You put a rock trail before 60 miles of desert, you got to hit it conservatively. You can't, there's no pits.
Right.
If you get one flat, now you got to do the desert with no spare. You get 2 flats. I'm surprised he didn't, call the race right there.
Right.
But knowing him, I'm not surprised he didn't call the race at all.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So back to, we come into lap 2 and going in, I tell Justin, I'm like, hey, you're gonna have to bear with me. Just, we're taking a break. We're going to get situated for lap 3.
Okay.
We're in for a long day. So we radioed into pits ahead of time. We had them air down all our tires. I got out of the car. I went into the race trailer. I used the restroom. I lost my catheter when I got out earlier.
So did Randy.
You step on him. I don't know how he lost it as a driver.
I lost mine as a driver, but that was farther into lap 3.
I've lost it before, and I just decided to let it go.
Yeah.
But this time I didn't. So I got out of the car. I downed a Gatorade. I did everything we needed to do. We took our time. I went back and timed it. We took an 11-minute pit stop between lap 2 and 3 just to get ready. I pulled winch cable out because we had to go hit back door. So I got the winch cable out all ready to go. So I'm not pulling it when we pull up to the obstacle. We ate some food. I had to adjust my fire suit. We jumped back in and, felt fresh, ready to go.
Were you stressing a bit over the time? 11 minutes had to feel like a half an hour.
Not at all. I knew what we had ahead of us, and I was totally okay with making sure we were set for lap 3.
One thing I noticed with Justin this year compared to prior years is his maturity increased a lot, and he just, you can tell there's a lot more patience, a lot more, not like, let's go. And, I think I've told you before, we've had races last year. We were going to strangle each other. I told him, I'm going to pull this effing car over right now and beat your ass. This year there were just typical father-son stuff, him yelling at me for not calling out corners. This year, there was none of that. This year was a good time. It was fun. On. There was a little bit of, fatigue that set in later on at lap 3 where some frustration but nothing compared to prior years. Okay. You could really see the maturity and even like him preparing for the race, he would sit in camp with just the iPad and the satellite imagery and marking stuff out that he saw and, him going and talking to different people and getting ideas of where to go and what to do. There was just a lot of growth this year from him.
Cool.
It was really nice to see.
Right on.
We got to lap 3 and we pull up the sledge and Tom was there.
Waze?
No, Lou.
Oh, Lou.
Yeah. Which was, it was great. It was like, oh, cool. Not another in and out. Like, I don't have to get out of the car. Tom was there like, hey, do you want us to winch you? We're here to help.
Yeah.
And so Tom, fortunately, I had my winch cable all ready to go. I just handed him a bundle of winch rope and said, yeah, absolutely. Hook us up, get us up this hill. So it was, that saved some time, and it was nice. I guess they were there most of the day helping everybody, just still being involved in the race. I don't know what took them out, but it was nice to see him there helping people out.
Okay. Yeah, it was a big relief pulling up to backdoor and seeing him waiting at the top, knowing what we had after backdoor going into lap 3.
Okay.
And that was another, because it was backdoor was a joker this year, and so we had to choose which lap we had to hit it on.
2 or 3, yeah. Or you could hit it 1, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you could hit it right on lap 1, but then the problem with that is you're stuck behind even more dust going into the desert, and
more traffic jams.
Yeah, more
jackhammer,
traffic jams, which jackhammer is a mess every single year, no matter where you are. And so that was a big factor into us hitting it on lap 3. We didn't want to hit it on lap 2 because then that just puts us behind more and more cars getting to jack.
Right.
And so lap 3 was really the only logical option to us. And talking about it the night before the race, it was kind of like, oh man, with everything we have on lap 3, now we're even adding backdoor to it. So Tom Lou being up there ready to pull our cable for us was really awesome.
And there was nobody else around. You weren't waiting for other cars or anything?
There was one car in front of us.
Yeah, which they were already going up it once we pulled into the trail, so we were not there for long at all.
Okay, cool. So it's pretty clean.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're off to a great start on lap 3. What time of the day is it at this point? Do you know?
I think it's not bad. It's, 2:15, because Justin's always in his head. He's comparing the UTV finishers, the EMC finishers, the time they finish, and when we pull in. So basically, we just finished the EMC race.
Okay.
So we're looking at the clock
we're right on.
Are we on track to where UTVs and EMC winners were? And we were. I think we were right around 2:15, 2:20, somewhere in there.
I know we're running an okay pace if we're finishing lap 2 by around the same time the winner of the 4,800.
All right.
Finish lap 2.
That's a good barometer there. Okay, I like that. So, boom, you get up back door.
Well, wait, was there any consideration of doing the bounty one shot on back door?
Not at all. No, I mean, it was a really long lap 3, and knowing what we had ahead of us, the last thing I wanted to do was try and one shot back door and say we make it and we get that bounty, but we weaken an axle shaft or something else in the car that we don't know about, and then we get into lap 3 and that part finally lets go, then we're done for the entire race.
Yeah.
And that kind of, it's cool we do back door, and some guys tried it, but ultimately all's back door is now is just a winch spot. Mm-hmm. Everybody goes in and just winches it. So it's I don't really, I get why they're doing it. Maybe it's more for the nostalgia effect of it, but everybody's just winching it. I think that there were a couple guys that tried it, but nobody got it.
I was surprised nobody got it. Because I figured some people would be like, oh, my car's get almost broken anyways. Fuck it. Let me go for the $15,000 and get out of here.
I went back and watched videos, and our car, the Bomber we drive, is the same Bomber that Randy won backdoor shootout in 2014 with. So it's more than capable of doing it. And so I was joking with Justin. I'm like, what if we would have pulled into pit and said, hey, put on the 42s,
right,
and let's do it. Let's win this, whatever it was, $10,000. And
it was
call it a day.
14.5.
Yeah, we could have won 14.5.
14.5, and Wheeler Wine and Whiskey donated a bottle of whiskey.
We could have got it. We should have got it. We could have even had tires with water.
Oh, that's true.
Ready for us.
That's true. That's true. That would have been.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
Yeah.
But we decided not. We were in it to. No. We didn't even at the time. We didn't even think about it.
You're focused on the bigger picture, but that would have been hilarious if somebody swapped out tires, watered up tires.
Yeah.
It did suck though when Ian Johnson came up to me in tech and was like, "Hey, just so you know, we're trying to get $15,000 bounty on back doors." Like, why did you have to tell me that right now?
Oh yeah, he was texting me before, and he's like, hey, you want to donate to the bounty? And I'm like, yeah, what's people throwing in? He goes, like $1,000. And I go, Wheeler Wine and Whiskey will put in a bottle of whiskey. How about that? That seems appropriate from us and something we can afford. That's so right. he's like, okay, I like that. All right. That's cool.
So after that, lap 3 starts. And I think the first one was Spooners. right? That's the first rock trail.
Yeah, first rock trail was Spooners, and also the first lap 3 only trail was in Spooners. It was a cutoff.
There was,
right in the beginning.
And it wasn't anything extreme, but it was still it was new, like nothing we haven't run it before. Justin thought maybe we did, like, just for fun, but I don't think we've ever run that canyon before.
It was a fun start to the race. It was a cool little trail for sure.
And again, anybody around you at this point, or are you kind of running solo?
There was a car ahead of us.
It was Stephen Watson, who
yes,
ended up finishing
Watson
behind us, and he was in, I think it's a Triton.
Yep, it's one of Kevin Stern's old cars.
It's a spaceship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really nice car, and he was in front of us to start Spooners, but Justin right away was like, I'm not following this guy up outer limits.
Okay.
So we caught up to him pretty quick and sirened him and got around him.
Okay.
Yeah, and then going up into outer limits, like my dad said, we really didn't want to be behind anyone in there because we knew it'd be a mess up at the top.
Yeah.
If there was anyone in front of us. And so we almost got through it, and then right at the exit, we got super stuck and had a winch right there. So that was our first winch of lap 3.
Okay.
Or I guess second after backdoor, but
okay.
But not bad. I mean, it was a typical spot, that it's kind of that last squeeze rock pinch point of outer limits. We got through that, and then from there, it's going to pit 2, right? We go into pit 2, and then we go up King's Veto.
Yep.
And King's Veto was awesome. I think Justin went right through King's Veto, no issues at all, no reverse.
Yeah, it's a short trail, but it's spicy,
it's tough.
man. That hard left-hand turn, and there's some big rocks right there.
Yeah.
We definitely we made it up easy. We made up King's Veto easier in the race car than we did in the trail bomber, which was pretty surprising. And so that kind of boosted my confidence a little bit for the rest of lap 3.
I was struggling a bit in there with my 43s and watered up front end there. So it was, it took me a minute to get through that trail. So mad respect in the race car.
Yeah, it was fun. It was kind of, again, it was like, knock that one off the list. And that's kind of how we approached the whole thing. We're like, we can't look at this as a whole lap 3. It's just one at a time.
It's
just check them off as we go.
The analogy of eating an elephant. How do you
exactly
one bite at a time?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And then after that was a special trail. We had to go up Z-Walk. And I heard, you guys were talking about it earlier. And I even told Justin over the radio, like, I got choked up going up Z-Walk, and we almost pulled over, to just touch the plaque.
Right.
But, we're racing. And
right. Zandy would have yelled at you. Like, get the fuck back in the car. Let's go.
It was cool to race up that trail.
That's cool.
And
I was definitely bummed when I saw that it wasn't on the course for lap 2, but then once lap 3 came out and it was on there, I was pretty happy about that.
That's the first year it's been on the course, right?
No, we've raced it a couple times.
You have? Okay.
Yeah. The first year, I think, after Zandy passed, I think it was on the course. But it was, Zandy always, again, he was, I think the first time we met Zandy, Justin was probably 16 or 17, and Zandy knew right then that Justin could drive. I mean, he'd give him his razor, and Justin would be gone, and he'd tell me, like, dude, that kid can drive.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get him in a car.
Yeah.
Cool. So it was cool. It was fun.
Right on. That's awesome. So you come out of Z-Walk, and then you're up on that ridge, and then where'd it go from there?
We did some cutoff stuff up on the ridge. Nothing major. The first major trail was down Dead Blow, which that's when I started having a lot of fun. It was hardcore rock crawling at that point. And so I was pretty intimidated going down Dead Blow, because the last I remember it, I was co-driving for my dad when I was 18, and I was running down it in the dark in front of him with a headlamp on, trying to make sure we didn't fall off a cliff. Which luckily this year, I mean, the lines were way more burned in this year than when we first ran it. There was one spot where I was a little nervous. It was a pretty big drop, and it was a blind drop for me. But my dad was out, and he was kind of spotting me down it. So it worked out pretty well. And then after that, it was just a kind of a cakewalk all the way to the bottom. And then we pulled down to Ballpeen, and it was a complete parking lot. Seemed like everyone was down there. So it was
another experience. You know, where it's like, wow, look at us.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
yeah, it's the Gomez's at the top, still getting through. It was Hunter Miller and who was the other Can-Am?
Cody Miller, I think, maybe. The Miller brothers were in there.
Yeah, the Miller brothers were in there.
Okay. Kyle Cheney, wasn't he there? Or?
Oh, maybe it was Kyle Cheney.
I don't know.
It was two Can-Ams. One of them was for sure. Was it Hunter Miller?
I think one was.
Hunter was in the mix.
Yeah. And then Cole Clark. It was Tom Ways.
Dan
Fresh. And I mean, like, this goes back to having a lot to learn. I mean, we were sitting in there for an extremely long time, and the line Randy took, I never would have even thought about possibly going that way.
So nuts.
We were watching Cole Clark trying to winch up that line, and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, if he can winch up this, then we'll line up right behind him and try it. Right away, he just broke his winch line, and he ended up calling his race right there, I think. But yeah, I mean, the parking lot was so bad on that trail when we were there. Everyone was out of their cars. Everyone, like, the drivers were all out. Everyone was just bolt checking their cars, topping off fluids, eating food, just like hanging out, having a little party.
Yeah, we pulled right up next to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Pip was there, and Pip Justice from Australia. He's he goes back to our introduction to Zandy and Rufus Racing, and Pip's always right there, and he's a hell of a driver. And he was up in there. We pulled right next to him, and they got their whole car apart. They got the seats out. They got
you got to be kidding me!
And I get on the phone. We got the Starlink, so I'm on the telephone talking to my wife. It was a good time. It was fun. It was a good experience.
I had my phone out watching the live feed, seeing where we stood on course.
Oh, jeez. That's great.
But it was one of we kind of, at that point, we jumped a lot of cars. Like, Pip wasn't ready. And so we made a little deal with him, like, hey, I'll let you guys go in front of us and pull my winch out, because his winch was bound up. Okay. So he hooked his winch to us. We pulled his winch out for him, and then he had to continue putting his car back together. I think they just had some bent shift linkage on their transmission, so they couldn't go into reverse.
We've been there before.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And then Dan Fresh, he was stuck there. I think he had his transmission was smoked. So then they asked us, can you winch us out? So we winch him back off the trail. And then one of the Can-Ams, I don't know which one it was. It wasn't Hunter. He flipped. And then I don't know why, but they got it rolled over, and he called it. Cole Clark called it. And then so we're next in line, and we're hooking up winch ropes, and we're getting set up, and we're going, and we're right behind the other Can-Am. And then here comes Aaron Smith.
Oh.
And we just did all this work, winching people out of the way, getting to this spot. And Kevin Jones comes running out, Ultra 4 Jones.
Yeah.
That guy is unreal. Like, he's so motivating, and he just comes out and starts he took control of the whole situation, like, get winches here. He was up finding the next winch point for the next guy. But I'm spent, I'm 275 pounds, and I'm out here throwing rocks and pulling winch rope. And
sure,
he comes up, and I'm like, dude, I've already been here doing this for a while. You're making me look bad, But
I was whenever I saw Kevin run past our car, I was always a little bit relieved, because I knew my dad was pretty beat by that point. And so it was nice, like, having Kevin Jones be able to help him out.
Kevin was huge at that point.
Right,
I mean, just providing that extra motivation and getting people moving. But right there, I think we passed 4 or 5 cars.
No kidding.
Later, the Can-Am wouldn't get out of the way, and on that trail, it was evident, extremely evident. And maybe he had mechanical problems, I don't know, but they did not belong on that trail.
Really?
Oh yeah. It was, we had opportunities to pass, to drive with their winch rope, and we kind of waited, we waited for the opportunity, and finally we found a line, and Justin had walked the line earlier, so he knew about it, and we jumped around him. And then after that, we were gone. But
it was a pretty sweet waterfall we drove up to get around them.
Yeah.
When I walked it previously in the week with Jason Shearer and Jason Berger, we all looked at this line and thought, yeah, no way, just get up to it, pull cable right away. But we got tires. We got tires on it. I gave it a little bit just to feel it out. My dad was like, yeah, you can drive this. And so I backed up, gave her the beans, and it pulled right up and over, which was pretty awesome.
Freaking love it.
And we're not, I'm not in the car. I'm out on a radio talking to them. And that's kind of how everybody was running that trail. You're just walking in front of your car. But yeah, getting around that Can-Am was huge because once we got around him, I'm like, okay, cool. Hopefully he holds everybody else back now.
Yeah.
And then after that, yeah, we felt good once it was still going up that trail. There were still some unknowns.
It was a never ending trail. It felt like for a long time.
Yeah.
Every corner you came around, it was like, oh man, we still have
another.
This is a trail that we can go have fun on with the trail buggies.
Yeah. We can spend all day out there
for sure.
Trail ride.
And we're in it and it's dark. We're in full helmets, neck restraints, window nets, tight, it's tough.
Yeah.
High PSI on the tires.
Sure.
But it was fun. It was, definitely, a good experience.
I got a lot better in the Bomber in the rocks, just in that one trail.
Right on.
A lot of confidence was built in that trail.
That's cool.
And then, after that, I got back in the car at the top and we just cruised. I mean, then there wasn't really anything difficult until, we did all the stuff around. I forget, we did the canyon by the mailboxes, but we're off to the left. We ran all that. And then you kind of turn down and you're going down and doing idle issues and her problem and all that stuff. And I was totally quiet at that spot. I didn't have to call out a single turn. And I'm sitting there telling Justin, like, dude, how do you know all this? Like, I'm not calling anything out. And it was like, he was hitting every turn perfect, on the course, no GPS in front of him.
Wow.
And it was just and he was like, cause we pre-ran it.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I don't remember it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was fun. It was definitely reassuring, like I was proud that like, oh, we're making it. We're making moves right here.
Hell yeah.
But then we're going through idle issues. And I think Justin will talk about it. There was a spot at the top up there that I think he was intimidated as soon as the course came out at the top of Chocolate Thunder.
As soon as this RCP came out, my stomach dropped when I saw it. I knew where it was, or I knew where the area was. I saw the cutoff line when we were out pre-running. And when we were out pre-running, I saw it and said, it's a good thing we're not going up that way. And then lap 3 came out and I saw the RCP and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it's kind of like you hope like maybe we're broken by then. Cross your fingers.
Wow.
It was gnarly.
That was they talked about that on the live feed and like, somebody drove past it. And Dave's like, yeah, no, he missed that RCP. And I'm like, where the fuck is the RCP? Because I'm like, that's a mountain billy goat trail.
It was flat middle on top of Chocolate Thunder and probably the most sketchy spot you could go.
Jeez.
The hill climb to it. So right where idle issues meets her problem at the peak, that's where you had to turn right and go up the waterfall. And the live feed doesn't do it justice. No. It was extremely steep, extremely loose. I mean,
exposed. Like
it was super. The scariest part, it was extremely exposed. And we hit it once and didn't even get close to making it. And I had to back down. And backing off of it was the scary part because I had no idea where the exposed just drop off hillside was next to me. And so my dad I had my dad get out to back me down it so I didn't send us tumbling all the way down idle issues. And at that point that's probably, so there was 2 times in this race where I was genuinely scared. And that was the first spot.
Okay.
And it was like, when you go back, I went back and watched, and you see like, again, this is just another dad moment. You see Paul Wolf had to winch it. Lauren Healy had to winch it.
Yeah.
Josh Byler had to winch it. Yeah. Randy didn't winch it.
Right.
Justin did not winch it.
Wow.
Like I backed him up and I said, dude, you just got to get on it.
Hit it with your purse.
Stand on the brakes and hit the gas and just let off the brake and just go.
Uh-huh.
I wish there was video of it because it looked straight rock bouncer, front wheels up off the ground, just going for it. And I'm crossing my fingers like, oh God, please
make it.
His mom's going to kill me. And
it was one of those lines where if you mess up, it's going to be a very, very bad time.
Yeah. But he did it. He got to the top. No problem.
And you're like, fuck yeah.
I huffed and puffed it up in there and dropped in and said, good job, man. That was fucking sketchy.
So that's the section of the trail where Paul Wolf blew out his steering?
I'm not sure where he blew out his steering.
No, I don't think so. There's
No,
if you,
I think
it's the spot where Lauren Healy was out changing his tire, blocking Paul Wolf from going up.
Okay.
It's where Randy passed Josh Byler.
Okay.
And so at this point too, we don't know this at the time, but really we're behind those guys, Paul Wolf, Lauren Healy, Josh Byler, Randy, and I think Raul.
No, Tom Ways. We already.
And Tom Ways.
Actually,
Tom
and
Ways
Raul.
and
Raul went
Gomez.
through there as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we don't know it at the time, but we're right. We're still in it, but we don't know it, so we just, I climb back in, get in, and we just motor on to the next trail, and
the next trail is where we passed Raul. His car was left abandoned
we still
there.
had to do like I guess that was before all that.
Yeah, it was the next trail. It was Chevy Love. That's where Raul's car was left abandoned. So we're like, oh, sweet, another position.
Another position. And it's dark at this point.
It's dark.
Oh, it's been dark for a long time.
7-ish at night, or where do you think?
It's probably about 8.
7 and 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was dark before we got up the gatekeeper to Ballpeen.
Okay.
And which is crazy thinking about that, because we got to the bottom of Ballpeen in complete daylight. And by the time we got up to the top of the first obstacle in Ballpeen, it was dark.
No, you're right.
Oh,
you're
wow.
Right, you're right.
Just to paint the picture for.
Yeah, we were in there for a very long time. And the next trail after that, it technically was
to like that hill climb. I still can't get over it. I get in the car and Justin's like, that was nuts. I'm like, dude, this is like, you want to do the hardest race?
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit we're going to do.
Right.
And this separates the men from the boys.
Yep.
Like, who's going to do this?
Yep.
And so, I was like, we did it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying other people could do it too, but you got to get to that point.
So that had to give you some, you made it. Obviously you're nervous, but it had to give you some confidence, additional confidence.
It definitely did. Because when I was watching the live feed in Ballpeen, I was watching Lauren Healy and Paul Wolf struggle on that. And so that right there,
Starlink's cool.
I was nervous about it, watching those guys struggle on it.
So how crazy is this technology now? You're sitting in Ballpeen, Lauren's ahead of you, and you're watching him struggle on part of the course that you haven't seen yet.
It was pretty wild. It was honestly kind of cool because I knew what to expect when I got there, but what I saw on the live feed is not what I wanted to see. No. I saw these two top guys struggling extremely bad on this hill climb. And first thing that came to mind was like, if these guys are struggling, how are we going to make it up it?
Yeah.
Well, you got a lighter car.
And not only that, we're
I also saw their
phone talking to people. Yeah. I'm calling my wife, with the Starlink. It was fun.
It also, again, another huge thing on Maxxis. Like those two guys, when they got to the trail, their tires were pure cords and no tread left on them. When we got there, we still had almost full tread left.
So one thing, and I don't remember who I was talking to, because Lauren Healy was down to the steel belts on his tire, and so was Paul Wolf damn near. And it was like somebody mentioned to me, and they go, it's an IFS car, and so they got to hammer harder.
They do.
Exactly.
They got more tire spin, which made sense, and I didn't even think about that, but that makes sense.
And they're heavier.
They're probably
our bomber's only 4,100 pounds, race ready.
Yeah.
I think is Eric's car? Eric's car is over 1,000 pounds heavier than ours, maybe 2,000 pounds.
5,800 pounds.
Yeah.
And so I don't know I know the UFO cars, they make pretty heavy. I have no idea what Lauren's car is, but I guess they're north of 5,000 pounds.
And what's your car weight?
4,100.
4,100.
Race, that's with full fuel and tools, and not me in it.
Oh my gosh.
But still, it's almost, 1,500 to 2,000 pound difference.
Sure.
And if you figure out the percentage of a 4,000 pound car, 2,000 pounds is a lot.
Well, and then you add a slope to the mix. because we teach this off-road safety class, and we talk about all that, how the weight of a vehicle affects, every degree of slope. It increases, right? Of the force that it takes to get up and overcome just the hill, not a hill with fucking rocks and loose dirt and all that other stuff.
So they're shredding tires.
Yeah,
and you watch Randy go up, Randy
tires.
Goes right up it.
Yeah. No.
So
okay, so that's freaking cool. So you guys are up there and you're going like, how much more do we have to go?
We weren't
we knew we had a lot farther to go. And so at this point, we're still just doing the one trail at a time.
Okay.
We're not even thinking about the finish line.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah, I mean, we get past this, and then that was a huge relief because that was the part of the course that I was most worried about. And then, which probably isn't the spot I should have been the most worried about. But the next trail after, so we got through that, got through Chevy Love.
That's where I think I had to, I think I was stacking rocks. Or no, was that?
No, that was in, that was somewhere else.
Okay.
That was I can't remember where that was.
The arena or 5 minute trail.
Were you stacking rocks for Tom Ways in there?
No, for you.
Oh, for me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was completely gone at that point. I was smoked. Yeah, after Chevy Love, the next trail was the 5 minute, or it was the arena, which had the 5 minute trail in it. And so we pull up to the 5 minute trail, and Tom Ways is upside down, blocking every possible lane.
Well, first when we pull up, Justin, like, he looks up there, he's like, I see a lot of lights and a lot of smoke, like up ahead of us. And again, like, this is back to Justin being a fan and me being a fan too. And it's Tom.
Yeah.
And Tom's another Lake Tahoe NorCal guy
out there. Yeah.
And so we come up and we're like, oh no, not Tom.
Yeah.
And he's totally upside down. There's no way around him. And so we're stopped there. And that's my phone, we get out, and right away, like, we know a lot of Tom's crew, and we're going to help if we can, but I'm spent. Like, I'm already, I think somewhere before I was stacking rocks, and it
was, now I remember, it was halfway down the trail just before that.
Yeah. So I pull up and I'm like, hey, give me a minute, but whatever you guys need.
Yeah.
What do you need? Do you need any help? I'll be up there in a minute to help you. But so we ended up giving them, we gave them our pulley, a soft shackle, a winch extension, 3 quarts of ATF fluid.
Jesus.
Trying to do everything we can to get them going. And then finally, when I'm feeling, back again, I go up and I start helping and, figuring out what we can do. And they get him tipped over and they get his car running again. He drained, a lot of his transmission fluid being upside down.
Sure.
And that was another thing. I'm talking to Justin. I'm like, dude, Tom's been sitting in that car upside down for 30, 40 minutes.
You got to be kidding me.
We're like, dude,
he didn't climb out.
No, he didn't climb out. He's just sitting in there.
I could never do that.
He's a different animal, man.
The second I'm upside down in a car, I need to get out. I hate that.
He's just sitting there cool as a cucumber. And so anyways, we're trying to help him, and there's no way around him. The trail's blocked. My phone's blowing up. Everybody's telling us, like, you guys got to go. You're in it. You're the only car moving. Cause at this time, Randy's stuck in pit 2, fixing his steering.
Yeah, steering ram. Yeah.
And I don't want to believe it. Our pit knows not to call us and tell us.
Okay.
My wife doesn't care.
Yeah.
She's calling us, telling us, yelling at us, like, you guys need to go. And I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. There's no effing way. We're the only other car moving on course right now. But anyways, yeah, eventually, I think we were there for over an hour.
We were there for an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And finally we get, they get him uprighted. They get his transmission fluid happy to where he actually can move. And then we have to hook our winch to his front tire, and we pull him back, and we kind of get him up out of the way. And then guess who shows up? Johnny Freshlegs, Ultra 4 Jones.
Oh, Ultra 4 Jones and Aaron Smith.
So they pull up. Yeah, Kevin comes running up like, what do we got to do? What do we got to do? Get everybody out of the way. And I'm like, dude, drink a beer, relax for a minute.
We kind of started to notice every gnarly parking lot we got to, as soon as they would pull up, my dad already had like 80% of the parking lot cleared. And so once they got there, it was like they would just get the opportunity to follow us straight up the trail.
But it was still like Kevin was just like
fired up.
I texted Kevin. I'm like, man, I need to find Justin and Ultra 4 Jones as a co-driver. There's like, that guy is like so motivated, and he motivates everybody around him. He just, I don't know if it's the firefighter in it.
It is the firefighter.
He just takes control of the whole situation.
Exactly. It's his training and his passion for the sport.
Right.
I mean, the guy
he's yelling at people, like I said before, like, I'm going to go find the next winch point for you.
Exactly.
You know, so he gets me going. I'm like, okay, we got this one. I'm yelling at him like, Kevin, I'm leaving my strap.
That's cool.
It's all there for you guys. You guys hook up to that after we go through. So we're working together. And Kevin even says, like, we're getting these 2 bombers to the finish line.
Perfect.
You know, and so
That's
it
cool.
was fun. It was a good time. And like, we're friends with Aaron. Like Aaron came to, I remember years ago before Aaron raced, he came into our pit when he was building his car and he was looking at it, you know, getting advice, you know, like, what do we need to do? And then he's sending me messages. And so we've always kind of talked to Aaron and like exchanged messages and same with Kevin. Kevin, you know, Justin and Kevin went and pre-ran King of the Motos years ago. And Kevin let Justin stay in his motorhome with him, or I think that's what he did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's always been kind of like a friendship there.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we're both driving bombers.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to get it across. And eventually we get Tom out of the way, we get up and around it and we're moving along. And at this point too, you know, you start thinking like only people ahead of us now are Randy, Paul Wolf, Lauren Healy, and Josh Byler.
Wow.
And Justin effing Wicks. You know, and so it was just kind of like another surreal moment. Like, you know, and we were in that position last year too. You know, we had it so close, you know, within your grasp to get it. And you know, we get to the top. I'm walking the whole trail, and these are trails that haven't been run. And I'm out there walking, and I don't know which way it is. And Justin's like, we need to make sure it's the right way because there's multiple options you could take. And Justin, even at one point, he was like, Dad, I'll walk it. You get in and drive the car and I'll walk. And I'm like, no, stay in the car. We'll figure it out. And we found the downhill and we start heading down, and we thought it was good, you know, but.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, when we got up to the top of this trail, I pulled into the way that looked passable, and right away we knew that was not the way.
It was happening.
The mountain disappeared into the abyss. And so we backed up and followed the GPS. And when we dropped off to where it was the way.
Yeah.
And at this point, I mean, we laughed about it afterwards. My dad was exhausted. I was exhausted. I asked him, I was like, hey, can you walk down this and make sure we don't go off of something catastrophic?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'm exhausted. I'm getting in the car. I was like, all right, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So there's 2 big boulders. Go right between them.
Yeah.
Just aim for the 2 boulders, go between them.
And then once he got in the car, I pulled up to where he was pointing at, and I was like, oh my God, are you serious? This is a slot canyon.
And I think we lost rear brakes too at that time.
And yeah, so we weren't aware that we had 0 rear brakes. I knew the brakes were a little squishy, but I could see the front tires still locking up. So I thought we were, okay, brakes are worn a little bit. It's whatever. But we had 0 rear brakes.
We didn't have any. I think we lost all the fluid out of the rear cylinder.
Oh, the master cylinder. You got front and rear.
And you looked now at our car and you could see it's just a fitting came loose. Yeah, and we just pumped all the fluid out.
But you have an Atlas transfer case. You're in low range and stuff now.
And we
so I'm in low range, and I
told him I put front wheel drive only.
Yeah, I put it in front wheel drive only, and the thoughts that I was gonna lock the rear up and drive through the front brakes, but we had no rear brakes. So it didn't.
Through.
Yeah, I had no rear brakes to drive through. So we start going off of this, and right away I'm like, this isn't good. We're accelerating down this vertical hillside. We're a pinball going down this mountain, bouncing off of every rock. We're getting knocked sideways, getting knocked the other way. We could not slow down at all going down this mountainside. And
kind of sounds like Medusa, Chris.
Oh God.
Okay, go on.
And halfway down this hillside, there's a waterfall.
We're doing good. I think I feel good about it. Like,
I did too. Once we were moving, I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. And there was a waterfall, and I saw the waterfall. I was like, big deal. Like, we're going to go right over this. Just get ready to throttle out of it.
Okay.
And so we start dropping off. Little did I know, or little did either of us know, since we can't pre-run any of this stuff, on the whole right half of the bottom of that waterfall,
the passenger side,
the passenger side of this waterfall, there's a massive boulder with enough room between the waterfall and that boulder to completely grab the front end of the car.
Oh shit.
So we drop off this waterfall. It grabs the front end of the car. Next thing we know, we're tumbling down the mountain.
Oh fuck.
And
like end over end.
End over end. We have no idea how many times. 2, 3 times.
No, we went once,
And then it turned into a
I'm
barrel
like,
roll.
Cool, we're on our wheels. Thank God we landed on our wheels.
So you go over the
front end, rear end over.
Yep.
And we land on our wheels.
Okay.
And I'm like, it was in kind of slow motion. I'm like, cool, we're on our wheels. And I'm like, oh no, we're going again. And this is just in my head.
Yeah.
At that point, I thought we were not going to stop until the very bottom of the mountain.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. And then we go again. And then that time we did stop. We landed back on our wheels again, but now we're facing uphill.
Oh, shit.
And have no idea what's behind us.
So we must have done like a 720 mixed in with a 180 kickflip kind of thing.
Yeah. That's a 10.
Yeah.
I really wish, like, first thing I did, I looked to see if the GoPro was running. GoPro wasn't running, so I was pretty bummed. Battery was dead. And I was hoping somebody had a video out there, but I think by the time we got in there, all the spectators, they were tired. They went back to camp.
And what trail is this?
This is the exit. It's not even the exit. It's out of the arena. It's the 5-minute trail.
This 5-minute trail everybody's been talking about, and I guess it's aptly named 5 minutes because there ain't no way
short.
to get through it in 5 minutes.
No, but it's in
a rear steer car you could, which is what we were told. We were told most of lap 3 was rear steer trails.
Well, yeah. Justin, I'm not even going to butcher his last name right now, but from Unique Componentry ran that.
At first, even I was talking to Tom when he was upside down, and Tom was like, this is complete BS. Like, we should not be out here. And I agreed with him. Like, dude, this is freaking scary. Like, this is sketchy stuff. So, but now I'm looking back, I'm like, no, let's keep doing stuff like this. Like, this is what this needs. Again, like, you want the hardest off-road race in the world.
Yeah.
This is what it needs to be.
It was fun. I had a ton of fun. And I mean, leading into the 5-minute trail, when we were sitting there helping Tom Ways, we were told the time limit was no more. There was no more time limit. That's what we were told by through text messages and the course workers that were helping Tom. And we were told the course was wide open. Just get through it. Get to the finish.
That's what Ben told you guys, right?
No, well, we weren't. This is through second and a couple course workers out there, and then our pit. Calling us and telling us like, hey, they made it shorter. They cut the desert loop off.
Keep going.
Just keep going.
So on the live feed, Dave Cole got on. It's late. Randy already came across the line. Blyler across the line and says, okay, here's who's left on course. And he named you guys. He said, and there was like 6-7 cars he named.
Yeah.
And said, okay, we are going to keep the lights on for them to finish.
Right.
It's going to be out of time, but we're keeping the lights on for them to finish. And they've been instructed to keep going. And then, so after Randy finished, I ran back up to camp, and James, it's like 11 o'clock at night.
James is still out at pit 2.
James is
pitting for us. That's one thing we didn't talk about. Like,
James is at pit 2, and I'm like, is he back yet? He's leaving in the morning? His fucking buggy's not on the trailer. None of his shit's packed up. And I go, and then James finally comes in. And he was all fucking pissed off because somebody told you guys to stop at some point.
Well, so what happened was the course was wide open, no time limit. After we took our gnarly tumble,
this is speculation. This is what we think.
This is what we were told by the course workers that were helping.
We had 4 course workers. Yeah. As soon as we rolled, these red vests come running up to us.
So you had people coming out of the darkness.
And so back to that
and
too.
You were back on your wheels?
We were back on our wheels.
We were facing uphill.
Yeah.
And so back to that, like, first thing I saw Justin do was kill the car.
Right.
And he's like, now what? And I'm like, fucking fire it back up. Let's go.
Let's go.
But then like some, adulting set, and I'm like, no, maybe we better get out and make sure we're not on the edge of a cliff.
Survey the car.
Yeah, and just see where we're parked.
After what we just rolled down, it was like, let's make sure we're not backed up to another one of those right now.
Yeah.
And we don't do it all over again.
Yeah.
So we got out and we looked around, and then we got 4 red vests running up to us to make sure we're okay.
Okay.
And so we assess the situation and we figure out, oh no, we need to drive forward, and then we need to control. I mean, we're on a pretty steep hill. We need to winch backwards. So we hook the winch up to do a control reverse.
Oh, wow.
Backwards to where we can do kind of like a 3-point, 20-point turn to get us facing downhill again.
Okay.
But also at that time, we start to see lights coming down, and it's, Aaron and Kevin.
Shit.
And so we're yelling at them, like, because we're right. I mean,
we're in the line that you would imagine to take when you're going down in the dark. We're right in the middle of the line in a spot where if you go off, you're not stopping till you hit our car.
Wow.
And so we're all flashing our lights. Like I'm trying to flash my lights, but our light bar is broken.
Yeah.
Trying to get Aaron to stop at the top before he comes down. And then
the course workers are yelling and screaming.
And if they're wearing their helmets, they can't hear shit.
Exactly.
No, they can't. They said when they came down and they saw our car facing the wrong way, that was the first like kind of red flag.
They were like, holy shit.
They're like, something's going on here.
Okay.
And so they knew, they kind of got the idea, like we need to go around this waterfall.
Okay.
And they go around the waterfall and they check on us. Hey, you guys good? And we're like, yeah, we're good. Keep going. But at that point, now it's probably, I think
it's 9:30,
9:45.
Yep.
We get our car turned around and the course workers inform us, and we could hear them talking to race ops. Hey,
sure,
the course is closed. We're closing it at 10. And back to what Justin was saying earlier, we think,
the course workers told us when I was talking to them, seeing if we can keep going or if we were done. They told us that because they were going back and forth with race ops after we cartwheeled down the mountain, letting them know what's going on. And so I was told by one of the course workers they were shutting it down due to it being unsafe to continue on in the dark in that for the rest of the lap 3 stuff. And so that the course from the course worker, I was told that
it was unsafe.
The course was unsafe to continue on, so that the time limit was back in play.
But it's still like every year that's the time limit.
Right.
14 hours.
Right.
That's it. They cut it off no matter where you're at. 14 hours, race is over. So they told us like, hey, you guys are more than welcome to keep wheeling. You're WEC wheeling at this point. Kevin and Aaron already passed us. Me and Justin's attitude was like, dude, we've been wreck wheeling all week.
Right. We're done. We're fucking smoked.
We don't need to cross the stage. And some of like, I get it. Some guys want to cross the stage and like that get a finish across the stage, but we've done that at this point.
Yeah.
We're just like, let's get back to camp. We want to race more races this year.
Yeah. We've had a hell of a run and the cars.
Yeah. The race is over.
Not talking about the yard sale we left on that mountainside.
Right.
Yeah.
The course worker was walking down with a handful of our parts from the car, hey, I think this is yours. I think this is also yours. Here's your fire extinguisher. Here's we lost our dipstick.
Oh my God.
A locking dipstick just popped out.
Oh shit.
So, but at that point we just decided like, we don't need to wreck wheel. We don't need the, let's just get back to camp.
Get us to the nearest fucking dirt.
They assured us the race was over at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So wherever we were at 10 o'clock, that was where we were going to be. And ultimately, like we were kind of like, we wanted to do, last year Justin got 8th. So we were kind of looking for that podium again. We wanted to get to that spot. Like that's the next thing, like it kind of goes, you got a top 10, maybe a top 5, a podium, then maybe you can win.
Right.
You start setting those goals, and our goal was to podium. And once we knew that was, out of our control, it was like, I don't know. I mean, all the credit to those guys that finished, like Aaron, Pip, that other guy with his last name starts with a G.
We won't talk about him.
Yeah, but like name. We didn't at that point in time. We just had a hard roll. We were like, let's just get back to camp, and get James back so we can pack.
Makes sense to me. And that was like Randy when his transmission went out last year, whatever. And he's like, well, if I can't finish on the box, I'm done racing.
Right.
That's kind of where we're at too at this point. I mean, we finished a bunch. We've gotten top 10 now twice. We're out there to get a podium.
Yeah.
And if we can't, if something catastrophic happens where it's going to set us back hours and hours, or if we time out, it's the end of the race ultimately. Well, and we're no longer competing for a top 10.
And you're getting thrashed. The car's getting thrashed more, and you guys are self-funded and everything, and it's like you don't have big money coming at you.
No, you've seen our garage that we work out of. It's one car garage.
Exactly.
It's me and Justin working on stuff. It's not like, some big race budget.
We need to preserve ourselves.
It's an hour away from where I live, so that makes it a challenge as well. So.
Sure. Yeah. No. 100%. So
we packed it up and we headed back to Maine, and
James was fucking pissed, man. He was furious.
Dude, we love James.
Oh, he is.
He's awesome.
He's a sponge, man. He just wants to learn everything. and help. And I was telling Justin, it was kind of cool. Like this whole, your guys' I guess our whole Wheel and Wine and Whiskey family, you know, between like Randy and Amber and James, and we got, I think Justin Hall was helping in our pits.
Oh, was it? I guess Justin Hall was helping us in remote pit 2, which was really cool.
Right. And James is helping us. Like James is over at our camp every day, you know, like, what do we need to do? How do we, you know, what's this mean? What, you know,
well, I heard he showed up at camp or the pit one morning early, and it's like, dude, we're not starting yet. Here's a fucking burrito. Let's take our time.
Well, James is texting me
at 5 a.m.
James is texting me every night before I go to bed. Like, hey man, I'll be there first thing in the morning. It's like, you're awesome.
James is a great human.
Yeah, he is amazing.
That's what James does. He,
you know, and then they'll back with like Aaron and Kevin too.
Yeah.
You know, like we're all helping each other trying to get through this.
That's cool.
It's just like this fraternity that we got going.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, we talk about this, how everybody helps each other out, but we do have a very cool group that we hang out with, and you can rely on them, right? And you don't feel bad asking them for help or
not at all
anything, right? Because you know they're just wanting to help you. Let me know what I can do to help you.
We heard, you know, whatever, a month or two ago, James was contemplating not going to KOH this year.
Yeah.
And so Eric sent him a message like, James, we need you.
Yeah.
You know, like come down, like we need your help. And like he jumped on, he's like, all right, I'll be there.
Yeah.
You know, and it was great having him. He's a huge asset.
Yeah. He didn't get the snow call, so luckily he was there. And then like wheeling, he's a wheeling freak, right? He's like super passionate about going out and pushing the limits too. Like he fucking does some shit that I just shake my head and I go, nope, I'm not trying that.
It's always hard for us anyways. Everybody wants to be in main pit.
Oh, good.
And right away, James was like, so like selfless, like whatever you need me to do. You need me to go to pit 2, I'll go to pit 2. And right away, he just volunteered to go to pit 2. And those are the guys that you're like, since you volunteered to go to pit 2, I really don't want to send you to pit 2.
Right.
But nobody else would. And James jumped on it, right away.
He was, I mean, that's what he does. And to a fault, right? Like you jump on that grenade, and then he was second guessing himself when he came in at 11 o'clock at night. Like, fuck, I gotta get loaded up. I'm like, dude, let's have a little whiskey. Let's go watch Eric and I'm Eric. Aaron and Kevin Jones is coming in right now. Let's go down to the main stage. So I got him down to the main stage, welcomed them in, and he was filling me in on everything he knew at that point because I didn't know where you guys were at.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they got to be coming in behind Aaron pretty quick if they're not in front of him. And, anyways, we just heard the rest of that story, but
we called it. We've crossed the stage, and, like maybe, the only, if there was any kind of like miscommunication and like the course was still open and like maybe we crossed the stage and we can get a time credit back for helping Tom or something like that. But at that point, physically and like mentally we were spent.
Smoked, yeah.
And we just did a 720 with a 180 roll.
Kick flip.
Yeah.
And that's maturity. And you talked about that. You're like, yeah, my son's maturing. And that's where maturity kicks in, where instead of, piss and vinegar, and you're like, no, we're going to fucking keep going and just grind ourselves down, or
we'll live another day.
Do something stupid. Yeah. You could roll over and do something bad, right?
Yeah. But it is, everybody does the woulda, shoulda, couldas, and it was right there. Again, it's 2 years in a row, the podium is right there.
I'll tell you right, James would not have been happy trying to fuel our car if we pulled into pit 2 after that rollover.
Really?
Our filler neck was smoked.
So, I mean, these are the stories that I love the podcast here because, like I say, the live feed, we get so much information and not all of it's accurate. And to hear from actual people out on the course, it's awesome. One
thing I, talking to my wife a lot since we finished the race, and she was doing the same thing, watching the live feed, they said this, they said that. And I'm saying, hey, when you watch a football game or you watch a baseball game, do you go by what the commentary is saying?
Right.
Or do you go by with what the officials are saying?
Right.
And the problem that I see is that like a lot of people they invest so much into what the live commentary is, but those guys are just commentators. They're not race officials.
Sure.
The race officials are, like Ben, they're behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
And I guess that's a fault of Ultra Fours. They all get excited and they all want to be involved. And it's like, they're just commentating on the races, how they see it.
Right.
But there is a rule book, there is, guys that are behind the scenes making the decisions.
Oh yeah.
And so you got to kind of, take it with a grain of salt, what the commentators are saying.
Right. Yeah. And they're relying on the information they're getting, and that information isn't always correct. And that was something that came up during, Slosson's podcast. It's like, here we are, 2026. We can go to the moon tomorrow if we want. How come we can't fucking get RCPs and VCPs?
Absolutely. They did it with in the EMC race. They did it within 30 minutes of the finish of the race, right? They knew where they were all standing.
Yeah.
How come you can't do this in the 4,400 race?
So, I don't know what the answer is. I'm not a techie guy. It seems like Starlink is the future. But I don't know what that answer is, but they need to figure this shit out. And they alluded to the new technology that they have. Like, if somebody has a Starlink and a car's within so many feet of that Starlink, it will pick up your position, of those other cars, which is awesome. And then you got redundancy out on the trail. Okay, Starlink's affordable now. Make everybody or supply everybody with a fucking Starlink on the trail. I don't know what the answer is.
No, I think it's as simple as like the race course closes at 10. The race course is closed at 10.
Yeah.
We don't provide this option. You can keep rec wheeling if you want because it's giving false hope to people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very frustrating at 30 minutes left in the time limit. We're getting nonstop back and forth. Time limit's open, no time limit. Okay, time limit's
just
back.
Mixed communication.
No hard time limit at pit 2. It was extremely frustrating. And then even like cutting the course shorter, which I understand they had to do that
for the military base.
For the military base, but this late in the race and having this many rule changes during the race, it was pretty frustrating.
It does tarnish, this because it's almost comical at this point because there's always something expected of like, okay, what rule change is going to happen during the middle of the race this year? I understand the shortening of course, and I think that was a good call. It was getting so fucking late, and it's like, okay, we got to get people back in. The military is saying we're done. We're not going to police, you guys racing your race out here or whatever happens behind the scenes there. But I don't know, and it's just we need consistency. And I thought with USAC getting involved and all this other stuff, we'd have that consistency in it. I don't think it's improved all the years that I've been watching. It sucks. But I think with that said, part of that is how quickly this race has evolved. KOH has evolved. The technology of cars, the skill of the drivers, everything, the challenge of the cores. It's hard to keep up. There's a lot of moving parts. So I don't want to be the guy. I would never want to be Ben.
No, he has an extremely difficult job.
He's got the world on his shoulders for that event, and I would not want that job. So yeah, I don't know what the answer is. It's fun to talk about and speculate, but somebody smarter than me needs to figure this shit out.
As long as they keep the course as hard as it was this year, I'm happy.
Okay, so that was going to be one of my questions. Like, you fucking had a gnarly. I mean, let's face it. You guys have done, crazy Donner rock crawl, dropping off cliffs and shit that I thought was impossible back in the day when I was watching that and watching Sheer and Eric competed and stuff. You guys were out there, Kris. You were a kid, so you weren't doing that, Justin, but you do it now, rec wheeling. But it's not for the faint of heart. And when you say, okay, this is fucking some scary shit. It's some scary shit, and it's at night. It's like, okay, did they go too far this year? As a spectator, I thought it was fucking awesome. My only complaint as a spectator watching the live feed is it was dark. and all we saw was headlights. And the only way I knew that like Aaron was still running is I recognized he had all amber lights
and his rock lights.
And his rock lights. And you had amber white, and then occasionally, and I don't know if it was course workers or somebody was shining a light on your car, and I could tell it was your car because Starlink was on top, and you could see the Maxis logo on the roof. You could see the orange stuck out. But it's almost like you need a fucking reflector or something. If this race continues like this next year that goes into the dark, you guys need to think about doing something that signifies your car. The fucking Maxis logo needs to light up or glow in the dark or some shit.
Did you see the course workers had like flashing vests or something?
Yeah. So that's my note as a spectator to you guys as racers. It's like, do something that you can, make your car stand out at night.
A reflective number might be kind of cool.
Yeah, reflective.
You also need to have like the star stream, because apparently like watching Paul Wolf broke down is better than watching actual cars on course.
And that was the unfortunate part, or whatever. If you were Paul Wolf, I guess it was great. He had the in car,
right?
And so they kept going to that because that was like good footage for viewing.
Right.
Was the in car and his struggles and stuff. And
people have asked us about that too, and it's my take on it is like, no, we're here to race.
Right.
Like that's just another thing to, unless we can get a guy that like is dedicated to that part of the prep. It's just one more thing to worry about.
We need a sponsor.
Yeah.
We need a sponsor to do that. It's awesome. And it was the race of the Bombers, man. Solid axle for the win. It proved, and they were talking about it on the live feed earlier in the week. IFS, solid axle. Who's your pick? Okay, we're going to pick a solid axle guy. We're going to pick an IFS guy.
It showed, like, I don't want to, I mean, Aaron and Justin are, Aaron, like Justin Wicks and Aaron Smith, totally competent wheelers. They wreck wheel, they trail wheel. You'll find Justin out at Fort Ice in a freaking Toyota on, Toyota axles wheeling every weekend.
Aaron wreck wheels
his Bomber every weekend.
Yep.
And here these two guys are right in the mix of it all.
Yep.
With, $500,000 rigs.
Yep.
Competing with their Bombers.
Yep.
So I hope they keep that. I hope it just, they got to find a fine line. Like, I don't think it will. The pendulum always swings back. But last year it was tough as far as navigation. This year they added in navigation and technical ability and just balls to do it. I hope it continues with that. I have a feeling it won't, but it's reassuring to hear guys like Lauren Healy say, like, bring it.
Well, and Paul Wolf even said at one point, he goes, nobody's going to finish this race.
But that's how it should be. You want the hardest race? Let's do it. Let's do the hardest race.
Yeah, you can't have 20 out of 75, 80 guys finish and still call it the hardest race in the world.
Well, and like Randy said when he pulled up on stage, you finish and you have lunch and you watch the rest of the race. I mean, that was not the case.
This was, as a co-driver, this was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
It was, and I've, we're freaking alumni brothers, right?
Yeah.
Eric and I both played, football, and that was tough. And I've done some things in my life. I'm an ex-iron worker, and, just physically demanding stuff. This was definitely probably one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Wow. That's a statement right there.
It was, but again, it's rewarding. I'll do it again. I would do it next weekend if I could.
That's cool. That's cool.
I came out of this race by far a braver driver than I went into it. Before, I'd be pretty intimidated by a lot of lines, but after doing some of the stuff we did this year, it was pretty cool. I came out thinking like, oh man, like if I could drive a lot of this stuff, I could drive a lot. Like this is awesome. And going into the race, I was pretty timid.
Pretty timid, knowing of lap 3 or what?
Yeah, I have a ton to learn still. I'm not great at anything in the racing. Like I need to be a lot faster in the desert. I need to be a lot faster in the rocks. I need to be a lot better in the rocks. But coming out of this race, I definitely like how challenging it was, what they put us through. It made me a way better driver coming out.
So yeah, there you go. And that's experience and that's cool. And it's like, anybody can do something easy or within their comfort zone. And you're like, oh, okay, that was fun or whatever. But when you get pushed, and I mean, it happens rec wheeling, right? Like I go out with guys, there's several different groups I wheel with, and it's like, oh, I'm going out. Okay, I know this is going to be an easy day. No big deal, But when I go out with, some of these guys, and especially out at Johnson Valley, and I go, oh, hey, we're going to go over here. We're going to go over there. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is going to be a day. And it scares me. I get nervous in spots, but I'm like, fuck, this is how I learn. This is like Sand Hollow. It pushed my limits, and that's how I learned. And then I'm more comfortable for the next crazy obstacle. So you get deeper and deeper down the rabbit trail of, fuck, where's the limit of, pushing the vehicle and your skills, but that's how you learn. And you got to find that, and just, it makes you more and more comfortable in that driver's seat when you come up to those situations. Go, oh, fuck, this is nothing, or okay, this is a little spicy, but I know my car can do it. I know I can do it. And yeah, you're just going to be better in the future for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, to me, it feels the same reason I got into doing hard enduro a couple years back. I don't like to get out of my comfort zone when I'm trail wheeling or just out having fun. And I got into hard enduro dirt bike racing to bring me out of that comfort zone, and it really did. And this year at KOH felt like the same kind of situation.
Sure.
The past few years, like I haven't really felt like I've been out of my comfort zone.
You haven't had to push yourself.
Yeah, this year I had to mentally push myself, and there was a couple spots where I was like, okay, this isn't happening. Like, let's go back. But it's like, it's a race. We have to do it, and let's do it.
And it was, like, as a dad in the car with him, I could see that, like a little bit of the fear and a little bit of the, like, like questioning what we were doing. And that's where I could see, like, okay, I need to be co-driving with him more. Where, like, if we would have done this race 3 years ago, the KOH of 3 years ago, it's like, you're fine. You could do this. But now seeing last year and this year, it's like, you got to be on your A game.
Yeah.
And, you need to be mentally ready for this stuff and physically ready for this stuff. And it's just not, honestly, tell you, like, I finished this race, King of the Hammers, for two times I finished it. And it's like, really, me? Like, come on, like, how hard can it be? Yeah, like, seriously, like,
you're still a way better rock crawler than I am.
No,
by
I
far.
know, but like, we're talking about like the hardest one-day race in the world.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
But this year
definitely lived up to it. Like, I would say this year, absolutely. Last year too. Last year was tough.
Yeah. So I always wanted a KOH to finish in the dark. And, when it was clear that was going to happen this year early on, and then, but I didn't know only 2 people would finish in time. But I hope this continues. We all know here that politics get involved, money gets involved. Whatever sponsor, I'm speculating at this point, but whatever sponsor says, hey, that was too hard this year. We need to see more people finish. We need to see our cars finish, not naming any names. And that's part of the fucking world we live in, unfortunately. I would like to say that Ultra 4 is immune to that. It's not. We've seen it, but I was so pleasantly surprised to see on the 20th anniversary a hardcore fucking rock crawling race and solid axles win. Yeah. So let's hope. And I know all the fans and the drivers were like, this is the best KOH ever. But there's manufacturers out there that are throwing a lot of money at this thing.
But they got, like, this was one race. They do a whole series, right? And I'm not, for this race, we talked about earlier, we went back and forth, like, during the race, me and Justin were like, we need to get an IFS car.
Yeah.
By the end of the race, we're like, F no.
Yeah.
Bomber for life.
That's cool.
But, like, there's multiple races throughout the year where we won't even bother. like we can't go do NorCal rock racing.
Okay, got it.
You know, we can't go do some of these racing. We're not going to compete with Kris Wicks at Vegas to Reno.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So like, but let us have this one.
Yeah.
Make this the hardest race
this
right
the
here.
hardest race, which is supposed to be and touted as the hardest.
And
race.
Again, back to like some of these guys like Paul Wolf and Lauren Healy, like I gained a ton of respect for them.
Yeah.
You know, like how Lauren Healy came out right away and he said, absolutely, let's keep it like this.
Yeah.
You know, he's up for the challenge.
No, and they're rock crawlers too. I mean, they're, you know, Paul's a junkyard dog and, you know, even Lauren, I mean, you still see him out there at Sand Hollow rock crawling, you know, in his forced steer buggy. But, I mean, we're all rock crawlers at heart, and that's what this race needs to stay. Hardcore. Holy hell. So, what do you got to do to the car to kind of get it back? How many tubes do you have to replace, and what's going on there?
Honestly, for the rest of the season, there's really only one tube that we have to replace.
Maybe two.
Two. The windshield intrusion bar, that's definitely got to be replaced. We mangled it pretty bad. And the passenger side A-pillar could use a little bit of love.
Okay.
There's some pretty good dents on the front of the chassis, but it's all still intact. Nothing's broken. Nothing's cracked. As far as I know right now, still have to dig into it. But besides that, there's really not a ton. I mean, all the panels have to be replaced. They all got pretty smashed up. But
yeah, I was watching you trying to put that one panel back on in the pit, and it wasn't going. It's wall art now.
It's definitely wall art. It's never going baback on the car again.
If you got any extra wall art panels, I got room in my garage to hang them. So
we're gonna have some this year.
No, yeah, well, that's good. And I mean, 13-year-old Bomber is still fucking, you know, taking the licks.
And I don't know, like we did it last year. We talked to Randy about his new 2.0 chassis, and we'll probably do it again this year. I mean, we're racing a 13-year-old chassis.
Yeah.
I mean, the links are the same.
Sure.
The sway, like I said before, the sway bars are the same.
Wow.
The only links that have been replaced since we've had the car are the front uppers.
Are you kidding me?
And I think those are the original ones that Randy raced with.
Jesus.
In 2000, whatever it was, 13. So we'll be, we got to get in. I got to get a call into Randy ASAP because he's probably getting a lot of those calls.
It's going to be a busy year for the Bomber.
Yeah, but we probably are in need of a new chassis.
Okay.
We have, fortunately, we haven't neglected the parts in our chassis. So I think it would be pretty, I don't like doing it, but I think it would be pretty easy to swap a lot of stuff over.
Yeah.
The one thing, probably axles, I think we would like to go to 4-inch diameter tubes over the 3-inch. We just crack a lot of stuff on the front end.
Wow.
So I think going to 4-inch, so that would kind of eliminate like unit bearings and stuff like that, which were all recently replaced. But we'll talk about it with him again.
All right.
But we're definitely, after that race, we're, like I said, Bomber for life.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We'll definitely take losing 10 minutes in the desert to gaining hours in the rocks.
In the rocks.
Yeah. Like we added it up, and it's like Justin said earlier, we were passed 3 times in the desert. Over 120 miles, we were passed 3 times.
That's it.
And if you take up the difference of, like, I don't know what those guys are doing, but let's say, 10 to 15 miles an hour faster, they're only making up 10, 15 minutes on us.
Sure.
We're getting into the rock trails, and we can make that up. If the course is hard like this, we can make it up quickly.
Yeah.
If it's not, then it doesn't, it's kind of like, this is kind of a losing battle.
Sure.
But in a course like this, or a course like last year, you can make that time lost in the desert up easily.
Absolutely. Any more races you're thinking about for 2026? Or
next up is Moab.
Are you going to do Moab?
Yeah, we'll
I want to go to Moab. I want to go to that race.
It's fun.
Okay.
So Justin's kind of, if you don't know, he's pretty humble about stuff. But
yeah, I know that. he's a man of few words and very humble.
Right. He has a contract with Maxxis, which I don't know how many people have that right now. But so we're going to try to we got to keep them happy. And, we're going to not keep ourselves happy too. We want to race more. So we're going to try, we got Moab. Then we're going to go do, I think there's a couple Vora races we really want to do.
Okay, cool.
Vora is great. I mean,
Vora is cool.
They do a really good job. And that race, which one is it?
the Gold Rush. It's called the Gold Rush. It's the Virginia City to Tonopah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've always heard that's an awesome race.
We want to do that one. And BJ's great. Like they're just very well organized.
Cool.
I think they had a lot to do with KOH this year too.
Cool. Yeah, I saw BJ out there a few times wearing a red vest and coordinating some things.
And then we want to do Vegas to Reno again. This year it's Reno to Vegas.
Yep, it's going backwards. Yeah,
and we're gonna hopefully have our whole team out there with us and Eric.
Just have to unfortunately probably just have to say see you later to Eric in that race.
There we go. Shots fired.
No, I was saying the other way around. We can't keep up with that car in the desert.
That thing's an absolute weapon. It's a beautiful piece of work, man. Yeah. It's just, cool car. But, I mean, it's awesome testament, too, to just like, hey, 13-year-old Bomber's still hanging with the big boys.
Right. So. That was, and not with Eric's new car and Keith. Like, it's freaking, like you said, a work of art.
Yeah.
But to see, where we finished and compared to some of these, $300,000, $400,000 cars, and it's like making them second guess life decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. And there's so many factors involved, and KOH has proved it many times. Some of these teams come in with a lot of money and very little skill and don't do shit.
Right.
So,
and we're still learning. I mean, we're still in the whole grand scheme of things. We're still a really young team.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, no, 100%. But it's cool. It's cool. I'm glad to see your brother, get this IFS car, and it's fucking awesome.
It gives us, I mean, I love it too, but it also gives us a little bit of,
right,
a little bit of fire in our gut. Like we got to keep up with that.
I love it. Yeah, keeps you on your A game. Yeah. So,
and then we still got to, with all the racing, we'll still find time to go wheeling. I mean, that's what we do.
At the end of the day, I mean that's
where it's all at.
Yeah,
we'll be up at Fort Ice, every other weekend if we can.
Yep. And you guys all have your trail bombers, and Greg's got his badass 4-steer Jeep, and
and Justin in his Toyota.
Yeah, and then Justin
should be getting hopefully be on tons and links by this summer.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Well, cool, man. Great stories. Again, it's always fun to, have this platform to listen and get it out there, what you guys are experiencing out during race day at KOH and some of the most extreme wheeling conditions known to man. Sure. And, holy shit. I just, looking at your car, that, what was it? That was Sunday
morning.
Yeah, I rolled into your pit, and you were trying to put that panel back on, and looking at the car, I was like, holy shit. You told me you rolled, and I was like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did some shit.
Yeah, somehow the Starlink was still okay.
That's great. Anything else? You got to shout out your sponsors.
Yeah, I mean, so our sponsors, it's pretty awesome. They've been with us pretty much since day one. I mean, Bora, Lenny with Bora, Greg with High Desert Surface Prep, and Ozzy with Rugged Revive. They've been with us since day one. And Maxis, they came in a year later, but they've always supported me and our team, and it's really awesome. And they're all awesome people. Like Greg, he's at everything we do.
Yeah.
Long lifetime family friend. Same with Ozzy.
Adopted son.
He kind of is. Like if Justin were to call him for anything, Greg would be right there.
Yeah, he would be.
Greg's great.
Same with Ozzy. I mean, I've known Ozzy longer than we've been racing. Lenny with Bora Off Road. They're all super cool over there. And Max's Tires, they're just like a second family to us at this point. I mean, I can call any of them up and just have a hour-long conversation about nothing about racing, and just talk to them, and they're all awesome.
That's
super grateful to be part of every single one of them.
That's awesome.
And those are that's pretty much the Maxis, Bora, and High Desert Surface Prep.
Yep.
And,
You know, those are our
Wicks
three
family
main-
racing for the rest of it.
And also got to give a shout out to Robert Maruzzi. He builds our motors. They're badass motors. I mean, we've never had a single issue with them. Our last motor we ran for 1,500 miles, and we brought it down to him before KOH, and he opened it up and said, "Dude, you did not have to bring this thing to me. It still looks brand new."
Wow.
And Maximum Transmissions. We've never really had an issue.
Had mysteries, but
We've had mysteries, but never an issue with Maximum Transmissions.
I think it's just, it's back to the Bomber. It's just a package, I tell people it's a motor, a transmission, a transfer case, axles, and drive lines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's a car.
Couple seats and a steering wheel.
Yeah. It's like strap yourself to a motor and let's go.
Yeah,
it's none of these fancy coolers and
it's said.
I mean, and King shocks, but other than that, it's pretty freaking simple.
Yeah.
And it works.
Bare bones.
I love the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
And obviously it proved itself this year once again.
We had an awesome team this year. Our pits were super dialed. It was such an awesome group of people to hang out with for some of them the whole 2 weeks, some of them the last week, but they always make it such a fun time down there at Hammers.
That's a big part of it, because if you're not having fun, why are you doing this whole thing, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Right on. Well, freaking awesome stories, guys, and thanks for coming down tonight. And
thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
thanks for allowing us this outlet to get the story out there. And it's just like the parent in me watching my kid do this. He doesn't have a big fancy last name, like some of these guys out there,
right? But he's creating a name.
He's just out there wheeling.
Yeah.
It's his passion.
Justin.
Like you'll find him, either riding his dirt bike or, driving his Toyota. He's just a regular kid, just out having fun.
Sure.
And we just, we happen to have a race car and make some memories and, go out and race, but he's the one, he's a construction worker. I'm a construction worker. We're back to the 9 to the grind, the whatever 7 to 3 daily grind working until the next race.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Stay humble, keep grinding. And you've already made a name, but you're going to make more of a name here in the future. I know it. So cool shit.
I got to give one more thank you to my dad. He's the best co-driver I could ever have in the car. He worked extremely hard on that course. Like it was pretty amazing to watch. I would have been smoked way before he was if I was doing what he was doing. I would have been pretty over it super quick, but he kept pushing on all day long, never gave up. And if I don't know what I'd do without him in the car. I mean, even like in those gnarly lap 3 trails, like I said, he's a way better rock crawler than I am. And so I had to rely on him all day long to help me through every bit of that course.
Right.
That's so cool.
Good job, Dad.
So good. Yeah, good stuff, man. I love the family aspect, and it's been fun documenting your stories over the years. And we're going to continue documenting them and documenting it until you win this thing. And don't forget about us slow people. Good stuff. Kris, you got anything else to add?
I don't think I can top any of that. That's great stories, and I'm happy you were. I'm happy we're all able to participate at KOH 2020 or 20th anniversary of KOH.
Yeah, 2026. Looking forward to some of these future races here in 2026 with you guys, and keep charging forward. All right, you got.
Thank you.
Else?
No, I'm good. I think we covered it all.
All right. Justin?
Thank you for allowing us to be here.
Thank you guys for getting us on the show.
Our pleasure. We know some people. We can get you on the show anytime. All right, cool. Good stuff, man. And with that, Kris,
we're out.